Hi guys, Coach Tommy here. Today we're going to be talking about intermittent fasting and how important it is to achieve those fitness goals that you've set. So regardless of what your goal is, to maintain, to feel better, to look better, to lose weight, or to gain weight, intermittent fasting is a great tool to use that's going to help you feel better and achieve those goals. So the way that I like to look at intermittent fasting is an eating window. So we're going to talk a little bit today about what our eating window should be to match those goals. So our eating window means that I have to eat all those calories in that time. So stop thinking about when you can't eat and start thinking about when you can. So this is gonna have a lot to do with your own lifestyle, your own meal prep, if you're allowed to eat at work, if during work that's an easier time to fast, different things like that. So our most common fasting schedule is gonna be that 8-hour eating window. So that's basically all we're doing. Hi, Rowan. All we're doing is we're skipping breakfast or we're skipping dinner. So what I mean by skipping doesn't mean counting out those calories and not eating them anymore. It just means that I'm taking that time that I would normally wake up, eat breakfast, and I'm pushing it back. Same thing with dinner. So depending on your work life and your schedule, you have to figure out when that window is going to be the most appropriate. It doesn't make sense to set the window at a time that's going to be super hard for you to achieve. So like myself, I can't necessarily eat at work a whole bunch. So setting my eating window based around my work schedule is going to be a little bit more important than trying to just say, I'm used to eating breakfast, so I'm going to keep eating breakfast. So our most common one is that 8-hour window. So again, we'll wake up, we get to count all the time that we're asleep. Once we wake up, that starts the rest of our fast, or we can start, wake up, eat, stop eating, count the times that we're asleep. And that's probably going to be the most doable for a lot of people when they first get into intermittent fasting. Then we also have to where we just drop it down a little bit. So now I have a 6-hour eating window. So now my fasting has increased by 2 hours. And now I'm going to have to consume all those calories in 6 hours. Now notice that when my eating window gets smaller, this is mainly for people who are looking for dramatic weight loss and they're not trying to make gains as far as adding muscle or maintaining. The reason being is because their calorie count is going to be so much lower. It's going to be a little bit more manageable to eat less calories in less amount of time than say if you're on a gain, you're trying to gain weight and you're being told to eat 2,500 calories. Eating all that in 6 hours might be a little tough on the digestive system, okay? So again, these eating windows will be based on your goals. So then we have the last one, which would be a 4-hour eating window. And that would be for the people who are looking for an extreme weight loss and they don't have a lot of calories that they're looking at having to consume. So that would be a little bit more manageable for them. Like I said, intermittent fasting is a great tool. There's so much information. There's so much science behind it. If you get that email, take the time to read through it. There's a lot of hormones that come into play that allow for extreme weight loss and targeted fat loss. So intermittent fasting isn't going to hurt anything. It is a little uncomfortable when you first get used to it, and then you're going to start feeling better. You're going to have more energy. As much as that seems counter, it will help with all those hormone regulations that might be causing you to be lethargic, not feeling so great, lack of energy. When we're looking at those fasting times, let's talk a little bit about what's allowed. Black tea, black coffee, that means nothing else in it. That's okay. We can also have water. Other than that, we don't want to have anything else. So we want to have just water or black tea or black coffee. So say you're fasting in the morning, you can still have your cup of coffee. Don't put anything else in it, okay? So that's not necessarily going to break your fast. The other thing I want to mention really quick about that is not only just your lifestyle as far as like work, but also your habits of coming to the gym. If you are coming to the gym first thing in the morning, it might be easy to do a fasted workout. If you're coming to the gym at the very end of your day and you haven't had a chance to eat a lot of your calories yet, just understand your energy level might be a little bit lower, and that's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with that. We've got to figure out what our goals are. So if your goal is an extreme weight loss, just know that you're going to come through, you're going to push through those workouts, and you may not have the most energy at that time because you're fasting. So that's another reason why we got to pick that window perfectly and choose when we're going to be able to consume all those calories efficiently. So we don't want to be stuck saying, oh, I'm going to get all my calories in at night, and then you get home and you've had a long day and you don't have anything prepped and you end up severely under eating. We need to hit that minimum macros to achieve our goals, and we need to pick an appropriate window to get all those calories in. So it comes into play with your workout schedule, your life schedule, and your work schedule. So if you're a single mom, or say you're a parent and you've got to do all these things when you get home, it may not be the best to try to tackle on adding in all those calories as well. If you do intermittent fasting, eating right before you go to bed, there's nothing wrong with that. It's not going to make you fat. Your body's still going to process it. You're going to feel fine. If you're struggling sleeping well, you may have to eat before you go to bed. You may have to switch that window, because if we're starving, if we're hungry, it's harder to fall asleep. It's harder to get a good night's rest. So those are a couple of things to look at adjusting once you start that intermittent fasting. If you're not quite feeling right, or say you've noticed that your sleep has gotten more difficult, it's harder to fall asleep because you're really hungry and your body hasn't quite adjusted to that intermittent fasting yet, keep that in mind. Switch it up. Try to see if that works for you and helps you. Eating right before bed is not going to cause you any problems. So let me know if you guys have any questions or concerns. Make sure you comment, like, and subscribe. Thank you.